Hey Gemini, it's Amber here from Symbols for Living. Welcome to your June reading, answering the question, how does he or she feel about me? Hope that you're well and thank you for your patience so far in waiting for these videos. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and get started. So, at the centre of the reading we've got how your love interest feels about you. We've then got how they felt about you in the past and what the future might look like in terms of how they feel. We've then got their intentions, what they plan to do, and we've also got what they're thinking about the situation. So we've got your partner here. The way they're looking at you is the Ten of Wands and the Two of Swords, and the advice is the Empress. So they may see you as someone who's quite tunnel visioned into working very hard on a particular project, aim or goal. And they see you with the Two of Swords there being, again, quite closed off to any other ways of working. The Ten of Wands also represents someone who likes to do everything on their own. Who sometimes hasn't always planned it through, but is more working off sheer determination. And with the Two of Swords there, it does look like they feel that you're not connecting to like you may not be looking after yourself, you're not thinking about how you feel, you're just doing what you want to do because you're passionate about it and you want to make sure that it's done. That's how they see you. So they see you maybe being quite single-minded. And the Empress card here suggests that, this Empress card is almost the opposite to being single-minded. She's all about abundance and kind of being inclusive rather than exclusive, rather than excluding things. She's more inviting and more abundant and likes to share. So I think the advice here is to definitely, if you can, if it's possible, I don't really know what you're working on, you could have to work really hard on your project. It could be really important, especially with the Ten of Wands there. It shows that you may have been working at it for some time, maybe almost a year. Or more, working very hard on something. But the Empress card here, as the advice, is saying that you may need to learn how to start receiving things, get into the whole law of, give and take, and reciprocity. Understanding that as much as you give, you should also expect to receive. You should be in a state of receiving. And the Empress is always in a state of receiving. But yes, she is discerning as well. So, it's not saying to completely throw caution completely to the wind, but the Empress card here is suggesting that you might need to exercise more reciprocity or give and take, more sharing in your endeavours. So it could be that you just include them more in things. It could be that you create more balance in your work, so you have more of a work-life balance. And also this talks about home as well, so if you do have children and a family, again, work-life balance needs to be considered. It's interesting because in the past we've got the Emperor card, so it's like almost as if, the advice in the past, or what it's telling us about the past is like, yeah, you were very much driven, and they feel that way about you. They feel that you were very driven and determined to reach a particular goal and to be successful, I guess. However, I feel that, talking about the past here, it looks as if there was some sort of waiting period between you two. There may have been some distance between you two. Maybe you guys mainly just talked on the phone or texted each other or just saw each other. It was quite maybe minimal, the contact was minimal, although the physical contact might have been minimal, but the conversations were flowing, like there was no blockage in your communication. However, there was some restriction, especially with the Emperor card here. There is some rigidity. And you may have had to be quite strong in the past for whatever reason. You may have had to kind of close off your emotions and focus on work because of the distance between you two. And your partner definitely feels that way. That, you were, there was a certain amount of distance. Again, this area here isn't entirely emotional. It's more intuitive and more grounded. So yeah, it does say that there was some sort of restrictions or slowing down maybe in the relationship. However, there was a commitment made still, and there was still talks of a future to commit. So you could have had talks, for the future, for you guys to kind of settle down and to have a stable life together. And it could be that, your partner sees you as really trying to work at this, but they may feel that you're doing it at the cost of really connecting to them in an emotional way, in a nurturing way, and they may want balance there. That is reiterated again here. We've got the Two of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Star card. Again, your partner is thinking of the future, long-term goals. They're dreaming of, a possible future together with you. However, they feel restricted. And they could feel restricted because basically, as I said before, it's just reiterating here really, they may feel restricted because they can't express their emotions to you. You're being advised here to consider the Emperor's card. So it could be that, they can't express themselves to you. You're too focused on work, or you've given yourself so much things to do to maybe block out your emotions. That's how they may feel as well. Like you're avoiding communication by focusing a lot on work, or not even just work. It doesn't necessarily need to even be a goal. It could just be lots of things that you're doing that kind of you've made a small commitment to, and you have to kind of keep doing it. So it could be lots of clubs that you're involved in, or trips that you've planned, and just keeping yourself very, very busy. And you could have been doing that in the past. If there was a distance, you could have been just trying to keep yourself busy, and they see you currently as still kind of doing that. And really, I think what they want to do is they want to connect on a more emotional level. And I think they feel they can't do that for some reason. They're restricted mentally. It could be that, this is a stable relationship, like a long-term relationship, and, your partner is just waiting for, this work to be done. They know that once you complete this project at work, or once you complete this particular goal in your business or whatever it is, that you will, have this stability that's suggested here, especially with the Star card as well. Also got the Hierophant card, like, there could be, just holding on, and maybe feeling like they can't really complain, even though they want to complain, but they can't, because they have to accept that this is a commitment that you've both made. But they are still missing that connection, regardless, even if they know they have to kind of delay pleasure, and work hard now and enjoy the fruits later. They still are really missing that. And so, the advice here to them, if you find you are in a situation where you can't get out of it, you have to stick to this and stay on this road until it's done. It would be just advice to, again, try and involve your partner in things, try to keep that balance going as much as you can. And again, with the Star card here, it's about focusing on the future. So it could be that it's just little reminders maybe to each other about the future, about where you're going, and things like that. yeah, just keeping your eye on the goal and just, but at the same time, you know, the star card here, she's got two things that she's managing here, or that she's tending to and nurturing. So again, the suggestion here is to have this balance, you know, in order for there to be true growth and you to really reach your goals. And to have true success, you have to nurture all of your commitments simultaneously, you know, as much as you can. But that balance again is talked about. And there's also 8 stars here, you know, again that's a very even number. Got 8 here as well. So there is like definite like big plans for the future, you know, you can see that here. And your partner is very much appreciative, and you know, they see what you're doing, and but they still need that emotional connection. So, you know, it has to be worked out somehow. You know, you can't not water a plant, it won't grow. So we're kind of cornered here, I think. So in their intentions, again, they've got balance, they want balance. It's almost like they're saying, you know, they understand that maybe if balance is brought in, that it could be a financial loss in some way. And they could be a little bit, you know, undecided and a bit confused about that. Like they intend, what they would love to do is for there to be more balance. However, they may not be pushing it. They may not be talking to you about this. Again, we've got 2 cards here, which is about not talking, being closed in, not expressing yourself. You know, he or she may be fantasizing about these things, but not actually acting on it, because they may be aware that it would be a cut in finances. So you may be really happy. You may be together like these two are in the picture, but you may not be comfortable. And I think that it's kind of just making them feel like they don't really know what they want right now. They want you, but they want this, they want the security. But ultimately, I think it comes down to balance, and that's what's been brought up quite a lot in the reading so far. So, and the 2 as well also talks to balance. It's about balancing your emotions with your obligations, with your wisdom, you know, finding that middle ground, being more open and receptive and letting other people in. And it could be a case of letting them know where they can help you. Because the 10 of Wands also talks to, you know, sometimes not working smart, but taking everything on your own shoulders. And it could be that you need to kind of share the responsibility a little bit as well, especially with the 6 of Coins there. Responsibility may need to be shared. Your partner may also feel that, you know, there could be a little element as well. I mean, these cards can be interpreted in different ways, but it could be that they feel that you have some sort of leverage as well, you know. They may feel, I mean, it could just be that they just feel that you love work more than them, or that you have more leverage because you are kind of bringing in all the bacon, and they kind of have to ask you, you know, for, not really ask you for money, but have to discuss spending with you, because at such a level, because they are not bringing in the money, maybe, as much money as you. So it could be kind of bringing in this sort of, you know, unsurety, this, a slight feeling of instability in your partner's mind. In terms of what their intentions now are. You know, they could be thinking now, well, what do I really want? You know, this isn't really making me happy, all this working. So I thought I wanted it, but, you know, maybe, you know, so they're kind of stuck in the middle, I think. But with the Seven of Cups there, it just may mean that they're just going to continue to daydream about what life will be like. Again, just focusing on the star, just focusing on all the possibilities, trying not to be limited in their thinking, maybe thinking of new ways that they can spend time with you, you know, thinking outside the box. Yeah, and generating new ideas to get closer to you. So it could be that. So in the near future, we do see your partner feeling a lot more in control, wanting to possibly make some sort of commitment, adjusting values even, you know, feeling a bit more secure. I think going forward they will feel more secure. So maybe, you know, if you do take heed and take on some of the advice in the reading, you may find that your partner does feel like they now have a more of a part to play now in this situation, as they are now the King of Rods, or they're feeling the King of Rods towards you. They may decide to take matters into their own hands and start to implement things that they want, you know, rather than being passive with the High Priestess here and the Eight of Swords, kind of waiting for things to happen to them. They could be balancing things out here with the Six of Coins and taking things into their own hands, possibly suggesting marriage, possibly wanting to buy a house, you know, just starting to decide what they want in the relationship. It's very powerful, it's very positive feelings they will be having in the near future. And I think that they will be looking to commit with quite some passion. So it could be that towards the end of June, things really do kind of get better for you both. Especially with this being a 10 as well, it's like, it's the end of all that hard work. And it could be the last leg that you're on. But, you know, in this last leg, don't lose it all because you're focused on work so much, you know, right up until the end you need to be doing your best, and your best is, you know, keeping that balance right up till the end. It's not that we're near the end so we can become imbalanced because of it. If you catch my drift, we have to still kind of remain in that way, I think. And I think if you do that, you'll end up with a really positive outcome, I think. The Four of Cups here does suggest, though, that what's being offered may not be appreciated. So, again, this could be that they feel unappreciated throughout all of this. They just feel unappreciated, they're extending their cup, they just feel like they're on their own, and, you know, so again, the advice here is, you know, if there has been distance between you two, if you are very focused on work, you know, you are kind of bound by certain commitments that you've made and businesses that you're running, jobs that you have. Again, you know, your partner, the advice card here is the Four of Cups. It's saying, you know, love is being extended to you, so don't ignore it, you know. They could possibly feel, I mean, it's obviously up to you. If you feel that it's not for you, it's not for you, you know. This is just how they feel. So if you if you feel that, you know, your work is more important, they definitely see you as being quite rigid and quite non-changeable. But it could also mean as well towards the end of the month that they do see you as, you know, possibly getting this promotion, achieving this goal that you have. And, you know, they could see you as very powerful and feel very secure with you, and confident when they're around you. but again, there may be missing, the emotional contentedness won't be there. It'll be like no effort has been kept to keep that love flowing. Because often this card is represented by like stale water, non-movable water, just water that just sits there and is stale, it's not tended to, it's not refreshed. And it just sits there stale. And it could be that, yeah, you know, there is a certain amount of success, but the emotions, you need to definitely make sure your partner feels appreciated. Or it could be you. You know, it could go both ways. This is a general reading for so many people. You know, Spirit is just going to kind of give, you know, all the cards necessary to relay all the messages that needs to be relayed, and it could end up being quite jumbled. So yeah, I think that they will, you know, it could be that they just feel so ignored or whatever that they just say, do you know what, I want to take matters into my own hands, I just want to get married. And then they kind of got, I don't know, not got what they wanted out of the situation, but it may be something like that. Or it's like, okay, so if I can't have love and all this stuff, at least I can be committed to you, and, you know, or something like that. That could be happening. But definitely there's this taking matters into your own hands energy here. You know, listening to your own will. You know, the King of Rods doesn't listen to anyone else's ideas. He doesn't, you know, and even if he does, he'll listen to everyone's ideas, then he'll be the one to decide what we're actually going to be doing going forward, you know. In quite a charismatic way. He's a leader. So that your partner may just feel again like you're a leader and you're very charismatic and that you've reached this promotion and it's great, but they just wish that, you know, there could be more emotions kind of flowing between you two. But at the same time, this could also be your partner feeling like they're taking matters into their own hands because of this emotional void. It could be that they're getting family to get involved in this to help them sort you out, quite possibly. It could be that, you know, you're meeting the family now. They could be saying, you know, I've waited a long time, I want to meet the family, and so it could be something like that. Okay, so that's one story possibly for this reading here. So I've also seen in the cards that this could be a bit of, I mean, if that isn't, that's probably a relationship reading. So if this is more maybe singles, people around you see you as keeping yourself occupied, I think, whilst you're single. So possible suitors, people that you're dating, you're getting to know, or maybe there's one in particular person that you're getting to know. They see you as, again, as I said, being very focused on work, shutting off your emotions, focusing on work, like you're trying to take your mind off something by doing lots of things. That's what it looks like. And again, the advice here would be to get more in touch with your emotions, to, you know, the Empress card is about loving yourself, looking after yourself, connecting to your inner goddess, you know, your, I don't know, just enriching yourself and acknowledging your own abundance, and just ultimately loving yourself and just really appreciating yourself, and also appreciating the sensual sides of life. You know, these two cards here aren't entirely sensual. They're more rough and hard and closed off. There's a bit of blockage there and it's a bit hard, you know. So it could be that the Empress card is saying, you know, you need to be more round. You need to be more soft, more flexible, more open. Because these two cards here talk about tunnel vision as well. It's like you're just so focused that you're not really seeing the bigger picture and the amount of abundance that's around you. So if you are single, it could be that people may not be approaching you because you know, you're actually possibly even closing yourself off to the amount of abundance of potential partners that could be there for you. You may be, yeah, you're a bit too focused maybe on work, or too focused possibly on taking your mind off of something. It could be a past relationship that you're taking your mind off, or some sort of pain, you know, or disappointment, or it could be that you've had some sort of new beginning, and you know, I guess as we do try to have new beginnings, sometimes we do have to really cut ourselves off from mentally from past ways of thinking or past emotions. And it looks like you're trying very, very hard to do that. You're trying very, very hard to just not deal with the emotional side of things. But the advice here is that, you know, if you continue to do that, you're closing off yourself to the abundance that's around you. And people, this is how people see you anyway. That you're closing yourself off in some way by surrounding yourself with lots of things and things to do. So this potential love interest is the Eight of Swords, Two of Cups. So they could see you, yeah, you know, as someone, as a good potential. Again, they feel a bit restricted. They might not know what to say to you. They might not know how to approach you. They just are thinking that they, you know, especially maybe if you've been a Gemini, you know, they could be, and they could very well be, you know, a air sign too, possibly. But anyway, I mean, I think dealing with any air sign, you have to understand that the way to their heart is probably going to be through their mind. And they might not feel like they know the right things to say to you to get to your heart, to get to that connection. They may not feel brave enough for whatever reason. They may see you as quite powerful and determined, and may not, again, not know what to say, how to say it. But either way, they're feeling restricted. And then they're because of that, just thinking of the future. But the advice here again would be to focus on the future. I mean, if you have just started seeing someone and there is a limitation as to what you can do because you've made other commitments, again, as I said in the previous reading, really in the first interpretation, it will be a case of talking about the future, talking about your plans, rather than focusing on the now, which may be a bit more restrictive, and delaying pleasure and being patient. But the Star card also talks about playing it by ear and being kind of intuitive to what needs to be done next. So the advice here is to, you know, again, Gemini, to pay attention to the balance. Because again, the Two of Cups talks about reciprocity, this give and take of emotion, this connection, this fairness in connection and giving. Your partner doesn't feel like they may get back what they put in. There's a kind of hesitancy. And it's like then there's this dreaming, you know, especially with the Seven of Cups there, then there's this, okay, I can't have this now, so I'm dreaming of the future. Or I don't know where I stand now, all I can do is daydream about what could be. So your partner may not see you as accessible. or the person you're interested in, or the person that's trying to get to know you, sees potential and really does like you a lot. They see you, sorry about that. Yeah, they see you possibly as a soulmate, most definitely, and they see a future with you. But it could be that as well, they could see a future with you, but maybe you're not their usual type as well. There's that's a possibility too. You're not their usual type. So they don't really know how to move forward with it. They don't know how to get out of their head and into their heart with you. They could see you as a lot of hard work. Possibly. In a way. With the Ten of Wands here. You know, this could be them again, not wanting to open up to you. Not wanting to open up because they may feel like you're preoccupied. But this could also mean not wanting to open up because maybe you're not their usual type. Even though they may see you as like a really, really good friend, they may love you to bits as a friend. You know, they could see you as an absolute, like their best friend, like complete soulmate, but that could be as much as they see. With this section here. And it looks like there was in the past some sort of separation. Sorry, Gemini, I don't want to have to say that, you know. But, you know, I'd rather be honest with you guys so you know exactly what the cards are saying, rather than just do this without any meaning. So I'm going to try to be as honest as I can with you guys all the time. And I always have been. So, yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't want to have to say that. But hopefully, you know, this is just June, you know. And you know what they say, you know, if it's not meant for you, if the door, sorry, what's it? If you knock on the door, it doesn't open. It was never your door to knock on in the first place anyway. So just move on to the next door kind of thing. So it could be that kind of situation, possibly, if there is this kind of unrequited love kind of going on here. But again, I do see like this soulmate connection, because we've got the Empress and the Emperor, we've got the High Priestess and the Magician here. You know, we've got a lot of reciprocity energy as well in the reading. So there is a chance that there is unrequited love to some extent. But even if that is the case, you guys are probably very good friends or have a very, very good connection. That possibly could in the future develop. You never know. I mean, a lot of the best relationships are based on the best friendship. So it could be, as I said, this could just be June. So yeah, in the near past there was separation. I think you guys maybe talked to each other a lot, possibly online, texting, things like that. But I definitely feel there was a separation. I just feel like there was no physical connection, because even the Page of Pentacles is someone who doesn't get physically close to people very quickly, you know. It's just not going to happen with the Page of Pentacles. And then the High Priestess, like, again, this spiritual connection, yes. It could be that, it can be interpreted in so many ways. It could be that you kind of just go with the flow, like your relationship or your friendship, whatever's happened so far, is that you kind of just go with the flow with things. It's not really, or has been in the past, very kind of go with the flow energy. A lot of talking on the phone, but nothing really physical may have happened. But then we've got the Emperor card here, which does talk about physicality. So it does say that possibly, you know, in the near past, the advice was on the situation that it does need to become more physical. And then we've got the Empress card here as we move along. as it does actually get very sensual and physical. So yeah, again, the advice here is that there needs to be some closeness in connection. There needs to be more physical, maybe more, sensuality, more alone time, more intimate time together is needed, because you've got this kind of great foundation of this mental connection, which is solid, it seems, and has been worked on probably over time. Which has now led to a kind of commitment of sorts. But again, it still needs to be brought into the physical, so there's a physical disconnect with you guys at the moment. And your partner, again, with the star card here, I mean not partner so much, but the person you're interested in with the star card here is that she's naked in this picture. So it could be that she really is kind of in this whole hemmed in feeling or wanting to be connected. That's maybe what the reading is saying, is that there needs to be, or your partner is wanting that physical connection as well. Maybe feeling quite restricted sexually because of the distance between you two. So it could be things could be really heating up, and that could be why the Hierophant card comes and the King of Rods comes. At the end, and they're both very sensual. I mean, the Hierophant card is represented by Taurus, which is known to be very sensual. Apparently, the sign that's the best in bed, apparently. And then you've got the King of Rods, who's notorious for being very sexual. I'm not even notorious, probably the wrong word, but infamous, maybe? Known for it. So it could be that, in the near future, you guys do actually become physical. And it could kind of really cement the relationship as well. But again, there'll be this Four of Cups energy. Just be careful that there is some sort of emotion there. I think that's what the warning is. The advice here is the Four of Cups. Keep that emotion flowing. Keep it going. In whatever way you can. Like, don't take it for granted. And don't allow anyone to take you for granted either. Because your partner may, it could also be as well that your partner's waited all this time, to kind of get together, and it's like, oh, now that you've got it, it's like, it wasn't as, your imagination gets carried away with you. You may have all sorts of expectations. So I guess a warning there. The cards are saying, keep it interesting. But it also does talk, the Four of Cups can also talk about that whole stagnant water. It can also talk about, unmoving water, where things are filled to the brim and nothing else can fit in. So it's like sometimes it's almost similar to a Ten of Cups feeling, the Four of Cups sometimes, and you're not interested in any other cups being brought in. You're only interested in the 3 cups that you've got. And you're very happy. He hasn't got any tears in his eyes here. He's not particularly sad. He's just not wanting anything extra. So it could be, in a more positive sense, that you guys could unite and be very, very loved up to the point where you were excluding everyone else, and you guys are being very intimate, and no one else really gets a look in. So yeah, it could be that if there has been some separation, that come the end of the month there will probably be someone making advances, possibly your partner, probably just having enough, just taking it into their own hands, and possibly initiating things with you, taking the lead, making plans for you both, where you may be very content and very happy. And in terms of their intentions, if this is just someone that you're seeing, their intentions is, yeah, they are wanting balance. They are wanting that give and take. They may feel like the relationship is kind of one-sided right now. But again, this could very easily back up that the second interpretation where they're just wanting that physical connection, you know, because this is a coins card, it does talk about connection. We've got these two people hugging here. It's often called the soulmate card as well, the 5 of coins. So it could be that they're really planning and intending to bring in this balance, bring in this physical connection between you two. And they're just at the moment very much just dreaming about it. Right now they're just dreaming about it. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at those 3 cards there to see what else it could be trying to say. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, with the 7 of Cups here, this is the advice. So it is talking about being more open-minded. This card is also talks about debauchery as well, where you kind of just feel it's like, you know, you're just doing the most, you know, to satisfy your pleasure senses, let's put it that way. And yeah, they could just be really wanting to get close to you and explore all of their emotions with you and just get lost with you a little bit, I think. And I think the advice here is with the 7 of Cups is that you may need to have a certain amount of open-mindedness. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, your partner seems to be dreaming of the connection. I think they want to possibly be the one to look after you, to, you know, if you have been working hard, they want to be the one to look after you and make you feel better, and they want to be able to give back. Maybe they feel like you've given a lot, you're doing a lot, you know, they want to be able to give back. But this could also mean as well that they are more planning, you know, that they could also be wanting to keep their options open with the 7 of Cups there. They could be looking for more of just casual relationship, like friends with benefits type situation, where they want to keep their options open, and, you know, they intend to go it alone, you know. There's that chance as well, and that could be what happens here, you know, is that they are quite aggressive maybe in initiating this sexual connection, but there's no love being offered or accepted here, you know, one or the other. So it could be that, you know, this, if going back to the unrequited love kind of situation, it could be that they see you as friends, they see you as someone really, really special, and they are maybe happy to have a sexual relationship with you, but that's as far as maybe they want to go because they want to keep their options open. There's that as well. And that would also be supported by the 4 of Cups here in the outcome with these 2 cards here, which talk about physical connection, sex, you know, because often they used to say back in the day, you know, or if I think even now, like if 2 people haven't slept together, a marriage can be annulled. It's like the sexual act itself actually cements the relationship. So it's like, yeah, it's very much related to sex and those kind of things. So yeah, but with the King of Rods, he's facing away from the Hierophant, you know, and then there is this indecision here as well. So definitely there's enough energy in this reading, enough cards in this reading for me to be able to say that this person could be looking for just a friends with benefits situation and not looking for love here. But they may have their own things to do. They may still be focused on the Ten of Wands, have lots of things to do, shutting off their emotions from you maybe, you know. So they can get on with whatever they're doing, which possibly is work related. You know, and not having the love here. But, you know, with the Magician card here, it does talk to, and that, you know, the High Priestess, it does talk to there being definitely some sort of soulmate connection between you two. So it could be a karmic connection. We haven't seen any karmic cards really come out, per se. So I would say it's not a very heavy situation. There's no heartbreaking cards here or anything. It just, you know, it's just, so really and truly this month isn't too eventful per se. And possibly won't even be too dramatic. It will just maybe be down to a decision that you might need to make as to whether or not you want to pursue a relationship that might only be a friends with benefits situation. It could be that could be like the worst case scenario possibly in the reading, and like best case scenario is that, you know, you're in a relationship and you just need to spend more time together. And if you are just starting to date, that there is something significant here. There has been a waiting period, and that you're just being warned here to make sure you let the person in, remain open, keep communication open, let them know that you have plans, that's why you're working so hard, and do make sure you spend that time to take the relationship to the next level. Yeah, and be happy together. You could be very, very comfortable and content together, but definitely paying attention to each other's emotions is going to be important. Keeping that kind of work-life balance, I think, is important. And the Magician card here is the overall energy for the month. It talks about you having the power to manifest your desires. And ultimately, the Magician card is also ruled by Mercury. Mercury is also the ruler of Gemini. So this is very much your card. Basically, it lets us know that all things that I manifest starts in the mind. So for this month, it's how you're thinking about a situation that's going to basically materialize the outcome. And that's what the Magician card is saying here. So pay attention to your thoughts, and how you feel about your thoughts as well. The last few cards that were underneath the deck here. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Rods, which does talk about, you know, things moving quite fast, sexual energy as well. So it could be, like I said, for this month, there will be this sexual offer or connection that's made between you two if there has been a long period. That will be coming in. Also, the Knight of Rods represents someone who stops by and then goes about his business, doesn't stick around for long. So this could also be supporting the friends with benefit situation. Then got the Six of Swords. So yeah, I think this will probably be pertaining to these other two Swords cards here. Just wanting to maybe the sexual relationship could actually bring in a lot of peace of mind. You know, it could finally move you guys out of this state of flux, maybe this state of indecision in the relationship, and yeah, just bring more peace, I guess, into the relationship and to how you think about it, and give peace of mind to both parties. It could be one of those situations where you've just been holding out for a long time. And then we've got the Three of Coins, working together. Yeah, letting people in, working together. And then we've got the Ten of Coins as the last card that's under the deck. So yeah, there's definitely possibilities to, and the Ten of Coins as well talks about money, most definitely. So it could be that if it was pertaining to the first situation of the first reading, that, you know, you guys will reach this success. You will have the Ten of Coins, you will have this emotional kind of fulfillment, although it might be a bit of a tired kind of emotional celebration, but, you know, you'll have each other, and you'll be appreciative of all the hard work you guys have put in, because it would have given you that security. You just now need to kind of work on the love parts and maybe get back to, you know, what you were doing this all for in the first place, which was because of each other, or the relationship, or the family life. And again, this does talk about, you know, long term. If this is talking about your friends and the guy or the girl that wants more of a light-hearted relationship, you know, you could still be very good friends. They could still very much see you as a long-term friend, you know. So it might be better that if that is being offered to you and you're not comfortable with that, with the Four of Cups there, you want more, that you go ahead and just remain friends. But it looks like a positive outcome, but it would take some amount of collaboration, letting people in, and it looks like, you know, there will need to be that physical connection, even if it's just you guys seeing each other, you know. That seems to be missing as well. So, yes, that's the end of the reading. I'm tempted to go ahead and pull some of the Mirror Love Oracle cards, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for Gemini for the month of June. Just going to do a very, very quick love spread reading for you guys. Gemini. Okay, so their relationship. So we've got fair male, got open relationship as the challenge. What brings you together is a dark male. True gem, and female, wallflower. So yeah. So you see your partner possibly as being a wallflower, not getting out there, being closed off. Sorry, at the bottom of the deck we've got the spiritual growth card. So definitely a month of spiritual growth, and that might be pertaining more to the Magician card, where you may be learning more about your own ability to affect your external world through simply the perspectives and thought belief systems that you have. So that could be where the spiritual growth comes in. Also with True Gem here, could also be talking to you learning to love yourself more, seeing yourself as a true gem in this relationship. That might be what the Empress card was really trying to say, that you need to love yourself more, not do everything on your own, that, you know, your partner can see you as putting in all the hard work, you know, especially if it is this friends with benefits situation, or this person is not quite sure about you. They can see you working really hard to try and get them, you know, working really, really hard. But they could also see that you're missing the point. You're missing maybe that the attraction needs to be. The Empress card is about attraction too. It's like, well, you need to work on the attraction. It's not just maybe about doing all the things you need to do, like, you know, taking all the calls when they call you, and always being there for them, and always doing things above and beyond what, you know, to make them happy, and forgetting about how you feel. The Empress card is saying, well, you need to think about how you feel as well. And also, it's not just about doing, it's about attracting, being receptive, being someone, you know, being that flower that the bees want to stop at, rather than being the Venus flytrap trying to, you know, trap your, or trying to willfully get something, you know. So, and I think that's where, and often once we start to love ourselves, we then realise that we are attractive, and actually once we are of the mindset that we're very attractive, we then start to attract more and recognise when we are attracting things as well. Because often, if you have a perception that you're not attracting, you could be attracting, but you just don't recognise it because you're not looking for it. So it's about how you see things, I think. That may be a major lesson this month. Spirit's talking about fair male here, so maybe someone who's quite impressionable in the situation. So yeah, it could be saying, you know, take care of yourself. If you are a male in the situation, you know, you are the fair male. It's like, I always see this card as being someone that's quite impressionable, maybe like a water sign energy. could be a main focus, but it's like spirit. This is the spiritual advice card, so I think it's saying again, look after yourself. The challenge here is an open relationship, so the challenge is again, it's, you know, and this could be pertaining to all parts of the reading. If you are in a very secure relationship or a married relationship with kids, etc., living together, the challenge is still that could still be the open relationship, because if your partner feels like you're not paying attention, or you're way too focused on work, you're not thinking about how you feel and how they feel, they could be, with the Seven of Cups, daydreaming. You know, that could be them daydreaming about having a more balanced life, not being left out in the cold with the Five of Coins, and wanting that reciprocity, wanting to be appreciated, wanting to feel loved, you know. So that could make them start daydreaming about other people that they could be with. So that would be something you need to consider. And again, if it's talking to the other relationships, it could be more open because you guys haven't seen each other for a little while, and you know, so it's maybe you're still flirting with other people, like it's not really set in stone yet, haven't been together. Maybe towards the end of the month, coming into June, you will actually, with a King of Rods, finally do come together and actually consummate the relationship. And if it's the friends with benefit situation, then it's just a friends with benefit situation. That's the challenge here, maybe for you, is to make a decision as to what you want to do about that offer being offered to you. Your partner is learning the young females. Your partner could be a female, and kind of embracing their sexuality, feeling very young, feeling very attractive, feeling almost like the Empress. The Empress is a young female, even though she's the mother figure. She's like she's very fertile. You know, she's very sensual. She's very attractive. So she's got a lot of correspondence with this card here. So it could be that your partner is learning about, you know, again, loving themselves, and appreciate. And they're really kind of quite, I think, feeling quite sexually turned on. I guess you could say that. You know, she's got a mini skirt on. Her arms are wide open. She's almost like saying, "So when are you going to come and get me?" Kind of pose. It's almost like offering or being very confident in herself, and almost like harnessing her own sexuality too. So your partner could be kind of going through those emotions right now, and that might be why this open relationship is looking attractive, because they've got all these feelings that maybe they're not able to share with you with the Eight of Swords here. They want to share, but they see it maybe as something way in the future, you know, not even attainable right now. So, yeah. You see them as the wallflower, but you may be wrong, because then I don't think they are. They may be hiding a lot of it here with the Eight of Swords, like not saying a lot. And they may seem like the wallflower, actually they've got a lot going on the inside. And they see you as a dating queen. They see you as being very charismatic and maybe, you know, loving the attention that you get from other people. Yeah, maybe they see you as someone who doesn't want to commit, who quite likes having your options open. And you see them as being a bit closed-minded and not being open to things, not open to new experiences. But you may be wrong, or maybe they're learning that about themselves. You know, you may see them as being quite boring, or, you know, or not very charismatic or adventurous, but maybe deep down they've got this young female inside of them, you know. And this is the challenge. So, yeah. I think we might need to do some more appreciating here of what we have, possibly with the Four of Cups here. And what brings you together is a dark male. So, there could be a dark male involved. But also he's someone here with his, you know, his shirt is unbuttoned all the way down almost to his navel, and he looks very sensual. He's staring right into the camera, it's not right, or right into the shot. So yeah, it could be that, you know, what brings you together is maybe the male. Maybe the male is doing a lot of the pursuing, and that's what actually brings you together, is all the effort being made on the male's part to pursue this relationship. So that's the reading. I'm not going to go on any more because I've gone on for way too long. But it was an interesting reading, and I'm sorry that it took a bit long. I hope that you enjoyed it. And thank you for listening to so far. I would like to mention before you go is that I do have my own Gemini postcards, and also I have a Gemini poster. You can see that here, that I do sell on my website usually, but unfortunately my website is down at the moment. But if you did want to place an order, also place an order with me by email. I can get these sent to you. Got a description here as to what Gemini would mean if you were to try and sum it up in one paragraph or 2 sentences. And also here in light yellow, we've got your correspondences, like topaz is your stone, yellow is your colour, Mercury is your planet, air is your element, your modality is a mutable energy, and your lucky number is number 3. Interestingly enough, even though you're a 2, 3 is your lucky number. So yeah, they are now available. I've also got some cups here as well. It's got the same design on as on the postcard. I'll just open it up for you so you can see what it would be like if you were to order one. So we've got the box that it comes in, and then the cup. Very, very carefully wrapped. I'll be as quick as I can. So yeah, okay. So then, this is the cup. It's got my business name on there, and the cup, and just the black interior, just for a bit of class. So if you do like them and you would like one, let me know. They're really nice for like Christmas presents and birthday presents and gifts. I've also got some more of my collection on my Instagram page, so please do check that out. And again, if you'd like your own reading, you'd always contact me at symbolsforliving@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to carry out a love reading for you, or any other reading that you're wishing for. Just get in contact. So take care, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.